never say toilet. You should never say toilet in our country. I would come and I will be a star. Be ready to feel crushed.
Hi, I'm Daria. On this channel, I chat with Canadian newcomers about settling down in this country, finding jobs, and starting a new life in Canada. Tonight, I'm talking to Helena. Hi, Helena.
Hello.
Originally from Russia, Helena is the founder of Pomsky Game Studio and a game producer. Back in St Petersburg, you had a successful career as a product manager. How come you decided to leave everything behind and elope to Canada?
My reasons were connected with political situations, with the high level of aggression in our society, in Russian society. I mean, people who I loved, who I respected, they just, started this hate talking about gay people, about foreigners, and even my mom, who is 76, and she watches a lot of Russian TV, which, probably is full of propaganda and hatred towards someone who has liberal views or liberal values. What else? And also sexism. There was a lot of sexism, which I faced every day, especially in professional community. I work in software development. So this is a very sexist industry, and I was female manager. So I was being treated with arrogance. I was mistrusted, I was judged, and in many ways. So I just couldn't tolerate it anymore.
All right, let's talk about how you landed your first job here. And my question is about your job search preparation process. So look, we Canadian immigrants have free access to a variety of employment services. What was your experience working with them?
First thing I did, I applied for help from this employment service. It was an organization called Access Employment. And to be honest, I didn't have great experience with them, but I believe they can probably help someone, not me, because I'll tell you why. I didn't like them and they didn't help me, and maybe they even harmed me, in a way, a little bit, yeah. They work mostly with big corporations like banks or corporates like organizations. They basically prepare you to work for these big banks and big corporations, which means they teach you how to get along with existing processes. They teach you how to not to be yourself, but adapt, fit into all this stuff. And if you are more a person of a startup culture, your initiative, you're good at communication, you like creating new stuff, you like optimize the processes or create something new, I doubt they can help you. They want to help as many people as possible, so they use all these techniques or templates, scripts to help as many people as possible. And of course, they are not interested in edge cases like me, for example. On one hand, they really useful for people who ready to land any job they want. But I wasn't like this. I wanted to find not only job in my profession, but I also want to find a good company which is fit to my values. So first of all, they don't really try to get into your situation. They don't take into consideration your personal case, and they act according to their scripts, templates, whatever. And they don't see any particularities in your case. For example, they made me, they asked me to create a resume to get access to other business English course and stuff like this. So they said basically you need to create this resume under our guidance to be able to use our other services of us. And I said, okay. And they told me that I need to create this resume. They showed me the template, and they made me to write a summary in my resume using very, very official language. And they suggested, as an example, responsible, sociable, and stuff like this. But I know my industry, and I know that all this vague description of my personality is just nothing. It's empty. It's not appreciated, and especially official language is not appreciated at all. So I was like arguing with them, but they said no. Like, we know better. We know what we do. Please do it. Of course, I've done it because I'm very diligent person, but it didn't help me, of course. And I also tried to send these resumes out, but I didn't get any answer, because I know, like, I myself, I was hiring by myself when I found a job. I was a hiring manager, and when I saw these resumes, which looked like identical, I knew this is guy from Access Employment. Yeah, so this was my first experience. Then I got access to this business English course, so-called, and I was hoping to pick up some new vocabulary, you know, from business English. What we were doing there is that our teacher, she taught us how to make a small talk. So we were literally divided by groups of 3 or 2, and we were practicing this small talk. She gave us a list of topics, like in school, you know. And we were like talking about the weather, about sport events, and stuff like this. But it would be much more helpful if she explained why this small talk is so important for Canadians. Seriously, because it all sounded very unnatural for all of us, many of us, because we were from different cultures, and it's not natural for us to maintain this small talk about the weather. And it would be really helpful if she just explained why, and we would figure out ways how to, like, for example, she can say, guys, we need this small talk, like we Canadians, we need this small talk to express our friendliness, and it would be really helpful. She didn't explain why, unfortunately. What else? Also, this is another big problem there. So we were practicing not using negative words. She told us, Canadians are afraid of negative words with negative connotation. And we were role playing. She gave me a role of bank worker, and someone else was a client. And my task was to refuse the client, but not using negative words, like words with negative connotations. And it was a challenge, of course. But so what I realized is that Canadians, and Americans probably, they seek their way to avoid some bad stuff, which is actually very normal. I mean, bad stuff happens in our life, right? And it's kind of strange to try to avoid it. And also to say stuff indirectly, it can be confusing, especially for immigrants who are not very good native speakers, you know. Another example, which was very surprising for me, I said, like, I call it toilet, because in Europe people say toilet, and that's okay. And once our teacher heard me saying toilet, and she was like, never say toilet. You should never say toilet in our country. Say washroom, because toilet, it's too much information, too much details.
Well, from what you are telling me, it sounds like employment services didn't really succeed at getting you a job, and what's more important, boosting your self-esteem and morale.
No, of course no. As I said, they even harmed me in a way. They told me all this stuff about negative words, and I was later I went to a job interview, and I remember when I was describing a guy for my job, I said stubborn. And it was like, I was analyzing what I'm saying, and I was like, oh my God, I said a word with negative connotation. Oh my God, they're gonna hate me for this. And I was really blocked. I got silent because I was really afraid of what the feedback would be. I asked for water, I went to washroom, you know, and then, so I mean, I'm very diligent, as I already said. I'm a very, very diligent student, and I took all of this stuff very seriously. So they told me not to use negative words. I did it. I didn't use negative words, but it was harmful. I stopped being myself because I use negative words. I don't think it's a bad thing, you know. I think it's important to have all the diverse language of the vocabulary of all the options to describe something, especially if you're on a job interview.
In Canada, the more you have connections, the easier you find a job. What was your networking experience here in Canada?
I got familiar with this term, networking, only here in Canada. I didn't know about this thing. Of course, I had some networking in my country, and all this networking was picked up by natural ways. For example, I worked with someone, or they were my partner in a way, or I was studying with someone in the university or stuff like this. And here I got familiar with this, that the fact that people can go on special meetings and like find networking there. It's a very strange experience. So I tried 3 times or 4 times. I didn't like it at all. I think it's just waste of energy, time, and I prefer my old good way to send out my resumes. And of course, I like networking, but in more natural ways, through job, through making something together, some projects together, or collaborating on something. This is the way for me.
What kind of experience did you have back in Russia, and what kind of jobs were you looking for here in Canada?
I'm a product manager and I work in software development. And in Russia, there is a big difference between this market, PM market in Russia and here, because in Russia we don't have a lot of qualified product managers in there. I don't know, because probably it's a very new thing for Russian market. And I was expecting something like this. I was expecting I would come and I will be a star and stuff like this. But when I came here, I found out that there are a lot of people. I am competing with a lot of others people who are very qualified. And they are mostly from Canada. So they are native speakers, and the soft skills are very important for product manager job. And of course, they're kind of better than me because they speak so good and they can be confident, and they can convince people, persuade people, they can sell themselves, sell their ideas and stuff like this. So I started my job search right away after I arrived. And basically, this process consists of 2 big parts. The first one lasted for a year or so after I arrived. And it was such a tough time. I don't like remembering it. I applied. I submitted around 300 job applications, and I had about 50 interviews, including phone screens interview as well. And I was when I just arrived, I was full of hopes, full of energy. I was super optimistic. I was okay. I'm gonna be a star here. I'm so sincere. I'm so charismatic. I'm gonna find a job like this. And in the beginning, so I felt it's going really well. People very supportive. I felt kind of connection between me and these people who were conducting interviews. And it was so cool. I remember one interview was so cool in PayPal. I was sure he's gonna call me next day and say, okay, Helena, let's go and do the job. It's yours. It never happened, unfortunately. And I even had an offer. So it happened in a couple of weeks in the beginning. I was, okay, I have the first offer. It's gonna be very good in the future. So I'm gonna have more and more and more. Then something happened. I had an interview with a guy, and I thought it went really well. I mean, I didn't feel any discomfort or something. And I found this position through recruiter. And after a week of silence, I pinged this recruiter asking there is no answer, what's going on? How we doing? And she was, I don't know, sorry for the negative word, stupid enough to copy paste from his letter to me. And basically I got very honest for the first time of my life here in Canada, honest feedback about myself. So he told her that I was struggling with the terminology, basically with English, and I was too nervous. And it was true because I was nervous, and I even my voice disappeared for a second, like little second, because I was a little bit, nervous. And I asked for water, and he gave me this water. And then he told this recruiter that I was too nervous. So I was very heartbroken, and something happened. I was so crushed. My self-esteem was crushed. My confidence was just absolutely crushed. And in a week I had an interview. I didn't want to go. I was like this reserved. I couldn't move. I couldn't sleep, like thinking that, I'm gonna have another very like bad experience. Then I put myself together. I went there, and I failed completely because I couldn't speak. And also I started noticing stuff. For example, in this interview, the lady asked me a question, and first they introduced themselves, the company, the position, and then she asked me the first question, and I started talking. And when I opened my mouth, she was like this, and I noticed this. So maybe before this experience, I've never noticed it, but this time I was like very observed. Like I observed things, and she was what she was saying. She has an accent or something, and it completely like blocked me. I just got silent. It was very awkward, seriously, because I couldn't. It was my psychological response to all this reaction. I couldn't speak. I started confusing words. I forgot like very simple word, pause, like break, pause. I forgot to say it. I couldn't say it. I guys, what do you say? What do you call it? And it was so awkward. It was stupid. And I left, and I was crying, and I was heartbroken. So it was very, very tough. And after that, I couldn't go to another job interview for probably a month or so. So it was the beginning of the end of my good era here. Then I stopped job searching, and then I started another one in a year, and it was much more successful. So it lasted around 3 months, and I applied, I don't know, maybe 20 job applications, and I got 2 offers, and I accepted one of them. So because I already I took my time, I got used to things, I observed things, I realized how things work here, and I started building my self-esteem again from the lowest level. And it took a year for me.
It sounds like you've experienced an unprecedented amount of stress, and it took a toll on you. Wellness and mental health are really important. So what are your self-care routines?
I went for a therapy. I worked with this lady and a small group for, I don't know, 3 months probably, and it helped me a lot at the time. Also, I started going outside. I started going on events. I didn't do networking, but I started just going there and hearing speakers, just meeting people, just seeing people around me. Not talking to them, but seeing them around me. And it helped me. And I also started my self-therapy. I started keeping a diary, saying that why I'm good and what I'm good at, why I'm so brave, I'm so all this stuff. So I helped myself through this diary. So my husband also was a huge help for me, supported me, saying why I'm so good and reminding me, because we worked together. We actually met at the company, and he was my programmer in my team, and he was reminding me how good I was at my job. And so it helped me.
Would you say that it's important to prioritize your mental health when you're looking for a job?
It's very, very important. In fact, this is the first thing you should do. And probably this is the first thing this access employment agencies can help you with. At least they can give you some counseling service or something like this, because it's traumatizing. This experience of immigrating to another country, it can be very, very devastating for self-esteem, confidence, all this stuff, very important. And of course, you cannot go into a job interview feeling like you're not gonna land a job in this condition. Never. It's very important here because if you're not confident, you're not mature enough. So you're not gonna get job or anything like this. This is true. This is very big difference with Russia. Because in Russia, what we taught is to be very modest, not to feel like you achieved something. This is not achievement. This is nothing. Like, it's not achievement. Achievement is like Elon Musk. This is achievement. And you, what do you do? Like, you're not Elon Musk. You're nothing. So what Russian people do? And here, so when I came here, I was like this. I was Russian person, absolutely. And how I presented myself, it was like immature for them. I think they considered me as immature person.
When I go through my LinkedIn feed, Canadians always impress me with their self-promotion skills. Everyone is always humbled and honored, and they never fail to glorify even their tiny accomplishments. Have you learned this self-promotion skill?
I realized it too late. Seriously, I wish I knew it before. I wish I knew it from somewhere. Nobody told me that. Nobody told me how important it is to be able to present yourself, to sell your ideas, your way of like living and stuff like this. How did I learn it? Once I saw an interview of a girl. She lived in San Francisco, which is, I believe, even tougher than Toronto. And she told about this stuff. She told the audience about this stuff, that you should be confident. But she said, okay, you should be confident. Okay, it's easy to say, but how to do it, right? Especially we who grew up in this atmosphere of, being very humble and stuff. And so diary helped me as well. So I started just analyzing all my achievements. I started saying, okay, I moved to Canada. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Can everyone do it? No, but I could do it. I managed to do it. Do I live in in the streets? No, I don't live in streets. I live in a nice apartment with my husband. I have education. I have good professional experience. I had a great career. Why I should be shy about myself? I should be ashamed of myself. So this diary helped me. Yeah, I think maybe in therapy as well. So, yeah. But once you realize this is important here, this is how people live here, this is the fundamental value here, you start learning it, because there is no other way.
Why did you accept the offer in the company that you joined?
I accepted it because it was in game development, and although I'm a product manager, lately I was more focused on game development. So this studio was making games, mobile games, and I was interested to gain some experience in this. Also, I like the person who was conducting the interview because she knew a lot of facts of Russian history, and she loved Russian literature, and it was I was like, wow, great, so I'm gonna work with this person.
So you actually succeeded in what many immigrants struggle to achieve. You got a job in the field in which you worked in your home country. How was your day-to-day experience at your work in Canada different from your experience in Russia?
I'll give you a couple of examples. So first of all, presentations is a very, very important thing here. So you need to present and to be able to sell, not only to present, but to be able to sell every idea, every suggestion you make, every feature that you want to implement, everything. So even your ways of working, your ways of how to organize the workflow, everything you should present, and sometimes not even once, but twice and even 3 times. First of all, to your top manager, then another manager, to fellow managers, to the whole team, to the developers and stuff like this. So it was very challenging for me because first of all I didn't get used to this. In Russia we don't present stuff officially. So of course we talk with our teams. I'm as a manager, I always tell my team what we're gonna do, why we're gonna do it. I hear their feedback, we discuss stuff, but it never looks like I'm here. I have a big screen and selling stuff in front of the whole team, whole company. It was challenging, yeah. but actually, eventually, it made sense for me. So yeah, you kind of learn how to you learn what like all the importance in your ideas, and you present only this essence, only this importance, only this important stuff. And when they ask question, you're gonna understand more, even more about your idea. So it's cool.
And in terms of, you say it was challenging. Was it challenging because of English language? Because English is not your first language, or for any other reason?
Both. First of all, English is not my first language, and I was struggling sometimes with finding new words. And also, when I was talking, I have an accent. So, and some of the people, I saw they didn't understand what I'm saying. So it was kind of, it hurt me, because like they didn't ask. This is another big difference with Canadian people. They never ask you to repeat stuff because it's impolite. They think it's impolite, but it's much better if they ask. It would be much better if they asked me, and I would be able to explain them better, all my ideas, better articulate them. Yeah. So another thing is relationships. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to build any meaningful, I would say, relationships with people here. So no friendship. People very friendly, they polite, they smile to you, but you cannot to go a little bit further. You cannot like build something between you, like close connections or something like this. And it's strange because we spend a lot of time at work, right? Like at least, I don't know, 8 hours a day. And it's cool to be able like to talk to someone like really on a deep level, to tell about your fears, I don't know, to share your struggling and stuff like this. So I wasn't able to do this. And I noticed that people here are, I can say fake because it's negative connotation. But at the same time, I can say they're sincere. They hide from you a lot, and you cannot see what they really think. And I don't like it. Probably because I don't understand it, and I don't know how to deal with this, how to handle this. If I knew, probably it wouldn't hurt me so much.
And why do you think this is the case? This is the way politeness works in Canada, so they perceive themselves as polite, and they don't like to overshare and burden others with like their problems, or like what is their reason?
Exactly. So they're very polite, and they don't want you to notice that they're not that polite. If you spot them to be a little bit more sincere, they don't like it. I don't know, maybe because they get criticized a lot when they express their true thoughts. But again, I'm not asking them to hurt me or to say impolite things for me, right? I just it would be really nice if they say, if it's something is not clear, or they don't do even this. So this is hard to find a connection. Sexism is the third thing which I wanted to tell you. It's like one more example of the differences between Russian workplace and Canadian. So there is also sexism here, unfortunately, but of course not to that extent like it's in Russia. But I faced, for example, one guy from my team, developer. Sometimes he was ignoring me. So like it was obvious he didn't trust me. But I'm not sure if it was because I'm a woman or if it was because I'm an immigrant and speak not very, speak with accent and stuff like this. And I wasn't very confident at the time because it was my first workplace here in Canada and I was like afraid of doing something wrong. He didn't trust me and I noticed it. He could ignore my requests or just didn't answer me in chat or stuff like this. And I wasn't able to build good relationships with him, unfortunately, like trustful relationship. I mean,
And in terms of, you say that you face sexism with this coworker of yours, how did you resolve this situation? Did you address it with HR, or what did you do?
no, we didn't have HR. I just talked to him, just, sincerely. I told him, like, I noticed something going on. You don't trust me. I think so. Maybe I'm mistaken. Could you tell me more? You remember this in this situation? Like, you were ignoring me. You ignored me here. You didn't answer me here. Like, why is that? Can I do something to address all your doubts? Let's discuss it just openly. But unfortunately, as a Canadian, he told me, no, everything is great. Oh, sorry, definitely I missed your message, or no, I wasn't ignored. Like gaslighting, a little bit of gaslighting, everything is great, you're great, everything is fine. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to push him to say something, the real reason.
All right, this is my favorite question. How do Canadians provide negative feedback?
Canadians, they have a great trick, and I liked it. It's called sandwich technique. You probably heard of this. What it means is that first they say something nice about you, then they provide you with a criticism, and then they conclude it with something really good. And I like it. And they always provided me with this kind of feedback, but I was working really good, so they didn't have much negative to say to me. I don't know, because I don't want to brag, and yeah, I didn't get a lot of negative feedback, unfortunately, or maybe not unfortunately. But I noticed they use this technique, and I like this a lot, because you don't feel like shit after meeting with your boss.
It's not like this in Russia, is it?
It's not like in Russia. Yes, in Russia nobody gonna tell you anything good about how you work. In Canada it's different. They always say something. They always find to say to you something nice, even if you like absolutely bad worker. Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if it's interesting information or not, but they have, in my company, they had a lot of what is called nominations. They nominated different people for different achievements every month, and once I won one of the nomination of it was the best worker, or the best, what is called, the best teammate. Yeah, I launched one of thing and one of the feature, and they honored me with this small small nomination and an award.
And why did you quit your job after half a year at this role?
I don't know, something happened to me after New Year started, and I went vegetarian. And I really wanted to do something more ethical. I wanted to do something which I'm passionate about. I'm very passionate about nature. I wanted to make the difference in this world. So I started realizing I want more of these things in my life. And at the same time, in this time, another company who was making a really great game, very nature related, about animals who are in danger, VR games. So we were negotiating this company, and I was so excited, something really ethical, New Year's coming, and new era of my life, of my professional life is coming as well. But then the virus came to our lives, and so it stopped, the negotiations stopped. But I'm really glad that it turned out to be like this, that I quit it eventually, because I was able to founded my own studio. I was able to start my own game, which is about ocean pollution, and which is meant to increase people's awareness of ecological problems which we have, what's going on in the ocean. And I was able, I saved some money working all these 6 months, and this money was a big help for me, because I hire some of the people. So I gathered a small but beautiful team who helped me. Like now, these people help me to build our game. So yeah, but this work, I'm very, very grateful to my employer, to my co-workers, colleagues, because I was able to gain very, very important experience of game market here in North America, how to handle all these like games, because I had some experience, but it wasn't connected to this market. Now I have this experience. It helped me. It boosted my confidence and all this stuff. So I started my own studio. I think things turned out just beautifully.
Your career segued into something less stable but more exciting and rewarding. Where do you see yourself in 1 year?
I want to be able to have money in order to donate this money to some non-profit organizations devoted to ocean protection or nature protection in general. And I decided it's my first priority. But I don't want to make money by any ways, I want to live ethical life, and I want to help like as much as I can. Unfortunately, I'm not an ecologist, but I'm a game developer. So if I'm a game developer, I can use my ability, my skills to do something like at the same time help our nature in some way. So let's see if I succeed or not in a year.
When you peruse official immigration websites, it looks like Canada really values its immigrants. Is this your experience?
In this country, I feel safe generally. I feel safe. I feel kind of confidence in the future. I think I feel like I can count on the government, and if something happens, so I have somewhere to go and to ask for help. And this is what I value in Canada here, that I don't feel like someone who was just be brought into the ocean without any support. No, I like Canada for that. So thanks. Yeah, I'm very grateful.
Are there any aspects of communication culture here in Canada that you find difficult to get used to?
Okay, there is one thing. How are you? This question is like makes me sick because everyone asks me that, and everyone knows what I'm gonna answer, and I'm not allowed to answer I am bad or I feel terrible or something like this. So they all expect me to say in reply, I'm good, fine, great, not bad, and stuff like this. And that's why I don't understand this ritual. I don't understand, like, what is the point to ask from, like, constantly the same question if you know what the answer would be. So for me, it's very irritating. I can say it's challenging because it's like automatically answer like fine, good, okay, not bad. But I don't get why they wasting their resources and their energy saying all this stuff. Seriously.
Do you know of any immigrants who didn't manage to make it here and ended up going back to their home country?
Yes, I know a guy. He was trying to start a business here, but something happened. I mean, he failed probably or something. So like, this business wasn't very successful. And I know that he was offered with a very good job with very good salary by his old employer from Russia. And he went there. He wasn't that a big star here in Canada. So for many people, it's hurtful when you had a great career back in your country and then you come here and you don't have any of this and you need to start from scratch, to live through all this suffering and crash self-esteem. Some people, they just don't manage it.
Is there any activity that you really enjoy doing here in Toronto?
First of all, I met a bunch of great celebrities, high-level celebrities at Toronto Film Festival. I met Sarah Paulson. I met a guy from the Game of Thrones. And I took a picture with all of them, like the most of them. And it was like, it's absolutely incredible to see people who you could see only in the movies back in Russia, like never dreaming of, coming to Hollywood or seeing something like this. And you see them just like this. Oh, it's crazy. So I was so inspired when I saw them. What else? Also, I love. I've been exploring some things around, some places around, some parks, national parks, and lakes. And I would say absolutely adore Canadian nature. It's very Siberian-like. It's so fresh. It's so inspiring. And I saw with my own eyes. I saw a turtle. I saw a baby deer. I saw a moose. I saw a fox. Like a lot of animals, which like I've never seen before. Only in zoos, which I don't like. So it's very inspiring. It gives a lot of like, wow, when you see with your own eyes this wildness. Wow, it's great.
If you had known how tough it would be for you to get integrated, would you have come to Canada anyway?
Yes, I think so. I think I would come anyway. But it was the most difficult experience in my whole life.
If you could send a message to your past self right after immigrating here, what would it be?
I would say to myself, like, Helena, be ready to feel crushed. Be ready, your self-esteem be like lower than, I don't know, than the bottom. Be prepared that you're gonna be heartbroken and you're gonna think about yourself very, very bad. But like after a while, things will get better. It's definitely, and everything is gonna be fine. But you should be prepared to live through all this suffering, which you're gonna have it.
What would be your advice for people in your field who are planning to immigrate to Canada?
What I would say to them is that, guys, please build your self-esteem first. Realize that confidence is the most important thing here, and you shouldn't be modest. You shouldn't say, we launched a product, or my team was able to meet all the deadlines, or stuff like this. You should say instead, I launched this product, I was able to meet all the deadlines and stuff like this. So all this us stuff should be put aside, and it sounds just scary for us Russian people, for many other cultures, not only Russian people. Because we were being taught how to be like as low as possible. Yeah, but this is very important here. So otherwise, nobody gonna hear you out. Nobody gonna listen to you, and you won't be just respected, I would say. Yeah.
Helena, thank you so much for sharing your experience.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for watching, and please let me know in comments what question you would like me to ask Canadian newcomers.